Dave Daly, right here on the Muskegon Channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley, a little frog in my throat this morning. I
Yeah.
don't know where that came from.
So I
However,
didn't know if we were going to do a take two there. I
well,
thought, oh,
sometimes
are we gonna...
you got to admit your humanity. I know I
Mhm.
come across as a superhero to many, but I too get an occasional frog in my throat.
Mhm.
And here, watch this. Ready? Now we should be good.
See? So now why don't you let the cough go? You let the frog in your throat go. You didn't
Well,
let the cough go.
There's etiquette. You know, the
Okay.
frog in my throat crept up on me. Not much I could do there. On the other hand, with the cough, I could reach over and hit the mute.
Okay.
See, so
Fair enough.
etiquette, manners, good taste,
Mhm.
which leads me into what I was going to bring up this morning, which we've discussed in the past. What's the word I want to look for? My broader worldview of intelligence and consumption of entertainment and
Mhm.
things to watch on TV compared to yours, which is that of a nitwit, um, small-minded, stuck in the past. You know, just overall, me better than you. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So while you're watching Golden Girls reruns and illegal channels, I'm busy feeding my mind with more intelligence.
Mhm.
And last night we were watching a show on PBS because we watch a lot of PBS. We're smart. Hear me out. You'll like this. We watched a show about this guy who is going around and he's telling stories of different things on Earth. And last night
Mhm.
it was a show on replacements, which is how species have replaced themselves over the years to sustain.
Uh-huh.
Cats, let's say, house cats, are the premier predator on Earth right now. They are the most successful predator on Earth because they kill everything.
I think I
So
heard
that
that.
kind of thing,
Yes.
right? Well,
Mhm.
last night's episode, he was talking about cities and how animals are adapting to cities. So you got
Mhm.
coyotes out west that are in San Francisco. You got all this other kind of stuff. Well, he was talking about New York rats.
Oh, this is exactly where I thought you were going because I'd heard about this. I
Yeah,
heard about the rat situation in New York is disgusting
but
at this point with how they're
it's
overrunning the
awful. But
city.
he went through it and they showed you all the different ways that they look at rats and where the actual population of rats is.
They're
And
highly
generally,
intelligent too. Yeah.
oh yeah, generally the rats are in mixed use neighborhoods. So where you've
Mhm.
got a population of people living with some restaurants and things like that, that's where you're going to find the rats. Areas where it's industrial and businesses and things like that, they're not so much populated because they spend
Mhm.
a lot of money on mitigating rats.
Mhm.
So as they showed out the map of New York and the islands and all that stuff, they showed you the rat hotspots where they talked about, oh yeah, it was gross.
It is.
Rat, and we're
Yeah,
all
I
sitting there
can't.
getting
Yeah.
grossed out.
Mhm.
Toward the end of this segment, this guy goes, and they're talking about ways that they poison rats, and they're talking about ways that rats are becoming immune to the poison, and blah blah blah. And at the end of it, he goes, "Well, they got one thing that can take care of rats. Watch this." This guy goes to this rat exterminator who's got a kennel full of dogs, these little rat terriers.
Mhm.
And dude, you should have seen this show. They set these dogs loose down an alley. They take them right off their thing, and brother, let the killing fields begin.
Oh,
These dogs
jeez.
go ape shit on these rats, and they don't have a chance in hell. And
Mhm.
they quarantine these rats in this killing field, and if the rats try to get out, the people are there with goalie sticks, and they
Oh
they
my
knock them back
God.
into the thing. And the dogs just keep
Good.
biting these things and chewing them up and like that. The guy walks out. He's got about 20 rats
Oh,
by the tail as he's walking off
oh
this
my
thing.
God.
They're doing it in slow motion. They're doing it in all this. So you totally have to tune in and watch what this guy's
No,
up to.
I am never watching that
Dude,
in a million years.
Cindy's on the other end of the couch just freaking out. She's like, ah, oh my God. Rats are getting bit, and there's piss shooting all over the place.
Oh my
Because
God.
and these dogs are just relentless. Little dogs like about that big, and this is a historical antidote for rats. This is the way people deal with rats, and they have for hundreds of years, thousands of years. You should have seen it. You have to see it.
I'm sorry. I've never. So you start this whole thing out by talking about how highbrow and broad you are
Well, I am.
about your entertainment choices,
Right.
and how how intellectual you are
Well, I am.
about what you choose to view,
Right.
and then you do a 5-minute tirade on rat genocide.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The
Well,
show is
I
called
spent
the show is
no,
called
what's
Human Footprint,
okay.
and you should watch it.
No, I'll tell you what. What I was doing while you were doing that, I was watching a nice, wholesome episode of Columbo from 1976, where Janet Leigh murders her husband, and
Oh
then
boy.
Columbo's got to go through
Well,
all
that's
the
what.
rigmarole
Gee,
of
I hate the body.
figuring out
Gee, I
how
hate the
she.
body. I could. Did you go ahead and stab your husband over here? I can't do
One,
Columbo as
one,
good as Kevin.
one
can.
other thing. Yeah, I can't do. I can't. Yeah,
Kevin.
I can't do Peter Wolf. I can't do Peter Wolf. But wow, that show. I never watched it when it was on. Obviously, I
Yep.
was too young. But and yeah, I do a lot of my entertainment now. I mean, I'll listen to podcasts for information and stuff, but when I just want to relax and just kind of decompress,
Yeah.
old TV shows, and Amazon Prime has just got a litany of really like Columbo. I watch old episodes of Taxi now.
Yep.
Can throw on the occasional Happy Days.
See, for us,
Um,
if we go
it's
retro, it's Two Broke Girls, 2.5
that's
Men
not retro.
occasionally.
That's shit. Two Broke Girls is the worst show that's ever been put on TV.
No, it wasn't. It was great.
It was awful.
No, it wasn't.
There was nothing good about that show. You had two decent actresses. You had Whitney Cummings, who I think who is a great stand-up comedian, super smart, super funny. That show was abysmal.
No,
it was
good.
horrible. It's the worst thing on TV by
Anyway,
far. It wasn't even
back
close.
to my story. We watch a lot of Andy Griffith, which is
Andy Griffith
awesome.
is fine.
2.5 Men. We got those.
2.5 Men's good.
And then what's the other one? Occasionally, we're trying to get back into Mrs. Maisel. I think the thing is, Cindy falls asleep, and then she wants to go back and watch them again. And
I feel like I should like that show more.
It's good, very
Marvelous
good.
Mrs. Maisel.
But anyway, go watch Human Footprint. Get to the episode about cities and watch these dogs go.
Oh! I did catch some clips of a woman you wanted me. It was you wanted me to tune into. Was it Kathleen Madigan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see the one she put out, but I had been watching clips of her because I remembered her. This is what I like about her. I don't find her hysterically funny, but she makes me smile constantly.
Oh, isn't that?
I just I have sometimes I even like that more than she's not the funniest female comedian out there. She's not. She's funny. It would be wrong for me to say she's not funny because she is funny. But I smile. I really enjoy her. I just enjoy her.
You know what?
I enjoy it.
I love to see you smile.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Sometimes that's of higher value.
Give us a smile.
Than,
Oh, look at him.
Okay.
All right. You gonna entertain us with some news here, or what are we gonna do? But you got.
Yeah,
you really have to go watch Human Footprint. Just
I'm not watching
just
that.
Go watch the city.
I never in a million years will I watch. I hate rats. I hate snakes. Snakes eating rats. That's even worse.
Okay.
All right. Hey, does anyone want to work? Job availability is up. Employers posted 9.6 million job openings in September. The latest month that data is out. That was up from 9.5 million in August. Layoffs fell to 1.5 million. The number of Americans quitting their jobs was virtually unchanged. I was trying to think of the last time I quit a job and didn't have something else lined up. The last time I quit a job was 2000. When I left to go to California, I took a morning show job there. But before that, it was 1991. I was working I was doing maintenance at a Splash Family Water Park on 28th Street.
Fun.
No, it was not.
No.
The owners were douchebags. I hated it. It was awful. Um, it was like lifeguards had the job. I had to sit around and sweep shit up and clean off video game machine. It was awful.
Yeah.
I lasted maybe 3-4 weeks doing that.
Did you?
But what's the last time you quit? What the last time you remember quitting?
MRR.
Does it go back that far? What was it?
2012 MRR. Well, wait a minute. No, I had a job at that agency, and they said, we'll give you $6 an hour or $10 an hour for 6 weeks as a get to know you thing. And then after that, we'll figure out a livable wage. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'll dip my toe in the water here, see how I fit in for 6 weeks. 20 weeks later, this company said to me, and the intent was for me to go to work for a company and kind of build what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
I tried that with that low power FM that I did. I tried that with this agency that I was working for. So $10 an hour, 6 weeks. We'll see how it goes. 20 weeks later, it was about lunchtime. And I said to the guy that brought me in, I said, hey, are we ever going to talk about that livable wage? And he laughed at me, and they all went out for lunch. And I literally waited till they cleared the building. I left everything in the office. I left all of it sitting there. I said, I don't give a shit. I'm never going back.
And did they call they call you up and say, hey?
Nope. One of the sales guys cleaned out the office and brought it all over the house. But literally $10 an hour. My house is getting repossessed. I'm trying to fix the back end of all these websites. One of their websites was forecast to make $4 million a year. It was only making $2 million, and that was a problem. Oh, we have to fix that. So I'm doing all this work for $10 an hour, and they laughed at me when I asked for a livable wage.
That's pathetic.
Yep, out the door.
That's pretty bad. All right, what else is going on? Legendary basketball coach Bobby Knight has passed away. One of college basketball's most polarizing figures and successful coaches died on Wednesday. Knight won 3 national championships at IU. An Olympic gold medal for the U.S. in the '84 Olympics. Knight retired in 2008 with a record 902 wins. Bobby Knight, 83 years old. I think he had dementia and some other physical problems.
I would have thought maybe
for
older.
a while. Yeah, no, well, he always, to me, like, even when he was coaching, he was young.
Yeah.
He started out at West Point when he was like 24. He was like the youngest coach in basketball.
That explains that, West Point.
And he was and that was just, like, and I played basketball all throughout school and through high school. I would not have played well for Bobby Knight. I wouldn't play well for a coach like Tom Izzo because of that didn't motivate me.
Right.
It didn't make me play better. But it was this is 96% of his players graduated. No cheating scandals, none of that. People can say everything you say about Bobby Knight is true.
I don't
Arrogant,
have a bad thing
bully.
to say about him.
Well, I do. I'll say arrogant, bully, asshole. Also very caring. Demanded excellence. He gave a lot to charity. He was did he say some things that that were off-putting? 100%.
Yeah.
But he was a net positive,
right,
for society just in general. And we got this is another one of those things. We got very few of those leaders, very few of those men.
I'll tell you what,
left.
This is where I draw a line.
That's part of the issue.
A basketball coach who will shoot his mouth off and kick some sand in people's faces and do that other kind of stuff. Who cares, right? If you're a leader on the world stage, you need to be a little bit more diplomatic. So that's where I kind of draw the line. If it's a basketball coach and he's, the Morgan Freeman character and Lean on Me, good, do that.
What about as an educator, though?
Huh?
I mean, he played an educator. He didn't play a coach in that.
But I'm giving you a case in point of that kind of personality. If you're going to do that in college basketball. That does not belong on a world stage. Does that make sense?
Well, it depends. It depends on the situation. Depends on the country. Depends. I mean, um, sometimes you need tough love.
Tough love is
There's some.
fine.
I think there's a difference. I think I know that there's a difference between just being a bully and just being a narcissist and just being arrogant and being a great leader. That you can be a great leader and be those things at times.
Yeah.
But there's also a different kind of approach. There's like a more of a jet, like a soft spoken leadership that can work too. I'm not going to
Yep.
even say one's better than the other, but I do think in a functioning society, you need both of those types. And I think sometimes, I think at this point, we probably have a little too much of the soft spoken and not enough of the demanding.
I disagree. I think it's
I
exactly the
want
opposite
more.
way.
No, it's absolutely not. You're one.
And I'll tell you why.
We've
I'll tell
got
you why I
plenty
think
of
it's the.
people.
I'll tell you why it's the opposite way.
Okay, fine. You start. Go
Okay.
ahead. Tell me why.
I'll tell you why.
I'll listen.
Because you've got that demanding, slam your hand on the table approach coming from everybody and their brother. It's been taught, and that kind of approach coming from everybody really gets old. Really gets old, and even those who are truly in power and have to use that kind of approach from time to time don't push it that hard. We saw um um we saw something the other night, or after Cindy went to bed the other night or whatever. I saw something about 9/11, and George Bush gets down to ground zero, and his whole thing was, "We're coming for you." That was that. That's all that needs to be
Mhm.
said.
Mhm.
That's strong enough. We're coming for you. And it happened.
Mhm.
So to have some tyrant blathering rhetoric over and over and over again, all that does is send an echo through everybody else who thinks they can get their way all the time. And it's really not boded well for the entire society.
I I think there's a difference between screaming at the air and screaming and throwing a tantrum and being tough and demanding excellence from people.
Right?
And my point is, you look at the service industry. Nobody does shit. You like
Nobody gets
you look
paid
at
shit.
I've talked about. I'd say I don't because you're not doing shit.
Okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. This is part of it. Now that's not the case with everybody. Again, I'm talking about the collective. I know if you're an individual right now and you're doing your job and you're doing it to the best of your ability and you're really putting up and you're demanding that of yourself, and if you're in a leadership position demanding that of others, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about a lot of other people. I'm talking about us collectively. We don't demand excellence. Collectively, we half-ass it as a society. We half-ass it as a country. A lot of times, our kids half-ass it through school. I know, guilty, 100% guilty. I half-assed my way through my 20 years of education. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
half-assed it, 100%. There's no getting around it. Okay, it's never too late to turn into that. But the problem is from a leadership standpoint, where I will disagree is we don't have those leaders that are demanding excellence, demanding accountability. It's a tell people what they want to hear, tickle their ears.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm all for positivity. I'm big on positivity. I'm big on positive reinforcement, but I'm also big on throwing the hammer down when you got to throw the hammer down. You got to do that occasionally. And parents are scared to do it. Teachers are scared to do it. Leaders are scared to do it.
All right.
And there's not enough of that. So I think from the general populace, people just bitching and moaning and crying about stuff and screaming. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not for that. But from a leadership standpoint, occasionally you need a Bobby Knight,
Okay.
and unfortunately he's gone, and there's
No
a
longer here. shortage
shortage of that. Finally, congratulations to Muskegon. Maybe we can congratulate God. I don't know, but Muskegon set a Halloween record of 8.8 inches of snow on Halloween. That breaks the old record of a trace of snow that occurred on 10 Halloweens since 1917. So if we're going
Gigantic
back
pain in
for
the ass.
106 years. So are you still digging out
No,
over
it's
there
all
in
melted.
Twin Lake, or all gone? No more problems. Your power's back on. You're not
No, our power
running
came
your
back
kitchen.
on. Our neighbor lady next door, she's got a branch broken over the wire that goes to her house. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to get consumers around for her.
Mhm.
She's elderly.
Yeah.
Yep. The power came back on. The cable was out yesterday, so we didn't have internet or TV or any of that kind of stuff. That sucked. Overall, it happens, right? We're in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Right. There you go.
Yep.
Sports.
Although I
Don't
will
mess
say,
with.
stop. This is funny because somebody on Facebook posted a picture of the trees trucks that have
Yeah.
the truck and the grinder on the back and all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. They were staging
Yeah.
somewhere. They were
Okay.
waiting for the call to find out where they had to go and all this other stuff. Some lady posted on Facebook, "Can't these people get to work? What's wrong with these people? Blah 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 blah." On and on and on. She's like, "I got power out. I need this. I need that." Every single person that commented underneath her told her to STFU. She's like, they're like, they probably drove all night to get here. Can't they have
Yeah.
a 5-minute break? Lady,
Yeah.
shut up. And then,
Yeah.
then one guy I know, Andrew Zart, he posts underneath there. He's like, "Well, that didn't go as planned, did it, lady?"
Yeah, because it's what you post something like that because you're thinking you think you're going to get like a right on sister,
Yeah.
and and because
Whoops.
again, in my issues because here's the thing. A lot of these power outages last a lot longer than they should, a lot longer than they did back in the day,
Dude,
and that shouldn't be the case.
right.
But that's not on that's not on these workers. That's not on them.
What it's on
Okay.
is our attention span, our inability to focus on anything longer than 3 seconds. And the honest to God's truth is, there are crews here from over 3 or 4 different states trying
Yeah.
to get this straightened out. So the work is
As we-
being done. Shut up, lady.
Nuts. Don't mess with Texas, at least not the Rangers. They are the World Series champs, 5-0 over Arizona. They win the series 4-1, their first ever World Series championships. Got a feeling it might be a lot of firsts in the sports world come Super Bowl time
Me
with
too.
your Detroit Lions. We'll see. That's sports.
All right, Jeopardy time. $400 for agriculture today. Something you know an awful lot about down there. And where is it?
Oh
again?
yeah, you gonna shit on the farmers now?
No, not at all. I love
Bum
farmers.
tussle.
Huh?
You know all about that stuff. You with your dirty farming and your
I know all
your
about
cow
farming.
shit
Yeah, I grew up
and your
in
hay and oh wait, I forget. Feeding the world.
I was throwing hay bales last weekend. What were you doing? Seriously.
You were throwing hay bale. Really? I
Yep.
got a feeling I would have like you physically were doing that. You were throwing
Yes.
bales of hay,
Yes,
helping
I
a
was.
farmer out. Good
Huh?
for you if that were the case. I would
That's
have
the
assumed I
case.
would have seen pictures.
Why
of
would
it.
I make
All
that
right.
up? You want to see pictures? Go on the Cedar
Actually, I
Creek
do.
Facebook page.
All right.
You'll see bales of hay everywhere. I threw them.
Okay.
All right. Farmers plant trees around farms to create windbreaks as they battle this attrition of soil by wind.
I believe that is called erosion.
The man is on fire this week. 52,400 in the hole. Wow. Dave Cackley.
Oh,
That is the mental giant. It's off the hook this week. Your display
Yes.
of mental power. Unbelievable.
that was a walk-off mental home run right there.
Give yourself a round of applause. I'd say stop for a Whopper on your way home. And here comes the weather kid.
See ya.
Happy Thursday, Muskegon. Our snow will continue to melt as warmer air begins to move into the region. So let's take a look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Starting out with your weather headlines, like I said, warmer air will move in for the rest of the week as highs will approach 50 degrees, if not be in the lower 50s over the weekend, which will pretty much put an end to any of the snow on the ground. And then our next chance of decent rain appears to be on Monday. Temperature-wise today, we'll climb that warming ladder. Will likely be in the mid 40s today, maybe even the upper 40s, away from where all the heavy snow fell, so in places like Ravenna. So for your Thursday, expect highs in the mid 40s with Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Most of the day will be fairly cloudy though, with a few breaks in the clouds here and there. Overnight will cool down to only 43, so it will be a lot warmer than it has been recently during the nighttime hours, with partly cloudy skies sticking around. And I also wanted to take a look at what next week looks like. From Monday the 6th through Friday the 10th of November, you can see the Great Lakes region, or at least the upper portion of the country, especially to the east, will likely experience cooler than average temperatures, which means we'll probably be in the 40s for the most part as we go into next week, especially after Tuesday. And that's reflected in our 7-day forecast. You can see by next Tuesday, we'll already be back down into the lower 40s. We'll probably stay that way for the rest of the week as well to finish off the end of next week. But in the meantime, temperatures will be warming to the lower 50s by this weekend until rain showers will likely move in on Monday, which will drag in cooler air following that. And that is your Thursday forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon Channel, and I'm Colin Woods Weather, and enjoy your day today.